Hello students, welcome back to our geometry class. Let's begin with chapter 2, Pythagoras theorem, part 1. So let's begin with our second chapter, Pythagoras theorem. Before we begin with this lesson, let us see that which are the topics which have been omitted for this particular year. Your textbook page number 30. So in Let's Study, they have given the topics which we are going to cover in this particular lesson. From that, applications of Pythagoras theorem and Apollonius theorem, they both are being deleted. Now you move to page number 40. The whole page is omitted. Page number 40. Page number 41. The entire page is omitted. So 40 and 41 both are omitted. 42 also. The entire page is omitted. Page number 42. Now page number 43. Practice set 2.2. The entire practice set 2.2 is omitted. So on page number 43, only the practice set 2.2 you will omit. Problem set questions are there, so you will not cancel those. Then on page number 44, the sixth sum. Page number 44, the sixth sum. Page number 45, you will find the 8th and the 9th. Page number 45, sum number 8 and sum number 9. Then sum number 12 is omitted. Sum number 8, 9 and 12 on page number 45 is omitted. And on page number 46, sum number 17 and 18, these two sums are omitted. Okay. So now we come back to Pythagoras theorem first page, that is page number 30. Okay. So students, Pythagoras, this name or Pythagoras theorem, you have learned in the earlier standards. You also know what is the Pythagoras theorem and how do we use it. Okay, in this lesson, you are going to study the theorem, how it has been proved with the help of statements and reasons, and also few sums which are related to Pythagoras theorem, and there are some other properties also which you are going to study in this lesson. So let's begin. Now, first we look at the statement of Pythagoras theorem. So what does the statement of Pythagoras theorem tell us? In general, the Pythagoras theorem is said as, in a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of remaining two sides. Okay, the statement says in a right angle triangle. So it is very important that Pythagoras theorem, in order to use Pythagoras theorem or in order to learn Pythagoras theorem, we need a triangle, and that also a right angle triangle. Okay, so in a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse, you all know what is a square, and the square of the hypotenuse side. So we know that hypotenuse side is present in a right angle triangle. In a right angle triangle, the side which is opposite to 90 degree. So here in this particular figure here of triangle PQR, we know that measure angle Q is 90 degree and the side opposite to 90 degree is the hypotenuse. So this is angle Q here 90 degree and just opposite side is side PR. So PR we will call as hypotenuse. This you have studied again in the earlier standard. So we take the square of the hypotenuse. Here they have mentioned is equal to the sum is addition of the squares of the remaining two sides. Now if this PR becomes the hypotenuse in this particular figure, the remaining two sides are side PQ and side RQ or QR. So the theorem tells us, the theorem says that the square of the hypotenuse, so we have taken PR square, is equal to the sum means the addition of the squares of the remaining two sides. The remaining two sides is PQ and QR, so we have taken their squares. So here in given triangle PQR, where measure angle Q is 90 degree, we have used Pythagoras theorem. Okay, which is very simple and it's not new for you all have studied this earlier. Okay, in general how you will write this theorem? How you will write this theorem in general means if a figure is not given. So as I told you that it is very important that to use Pythagoras theorem we need a right angle triangle, and a right angle triangle has a hypotenuse. So maybe if we just take this same particular triangle, I name this hypotenuse here and I can write this one side and this is the other side. So in general we can write here, I just mention it here only for you all, that is hypotenuse square is equal to the sum means addition of the square of other two sides. So one side square plus other side square. So this I have written in general when we don't have the name of the triangle. Just making it clear so that you all can see this. Okay. Hypotenuse square is equal to one side square plus others. But very important, that is we should have a right angle. This will happen only in a right angle triangle. Okay. So in a right angle triangle. Okay. Hypotenuse square is equal to one side square plus other side square, and we call this as a Pythagoras theorem. After this we move to what is Pythagorean triplet. Now triplet means 3. Okay, and what is Pythagorean triplet? So something related to Pythagoras theorem. So we'll see what the statement says. In a triplet of natural numbers, if the square of the largest number is equal to the sum of the squares of the remaining two sides, then the triplet is called a Pythagorean triplet. So the meaning is, given any three numbers, natural numbers, okay, from these three numbers we take the largest number. So here 11, 60 and 61. From this largest number is 61. So if we take the largest number and the square of the largest number should be equal to the sum of the squares of other two numbers. So basically we are using a Pythagoras theorem here, because in Pythagoras also hypotenuse square is equal to one side square plus other side square, and hypotenuse square is the largest side square. Okay, so how do you solve and how do we identify whether it is a Pythagorean triplet or it is not a Pythagorean triplet? Again, you have done this in the earlier standard and it is a repetition. So how do you solve this? First, whichever three numbers are given, we have to find out whether they are Pythagorean triplets or not. So the procedure is, whichever three numbers are given, we find the square of these numbers. Okay, so some squares we know by heart, some we don't know. So the one we don't know, we can do it in the calculation in the rough work and find out. 11 square is 121, 60 square is 3600 and 61 square is 3721. Now when we find the square of all the three numbers, we have to take the square of the greater number, that is 61 square. It is 3721. And then we have to see whether this number 3721 is equal to the addition of these other two numbers. So addition of 2121 and 3600, yes, it is same, 3721. And therefore, we say that the square of the largest number is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. And therefore, these three numbers are Pythagorean triplet. If this was not equal, then we say that they are not Pythagorean triplets. We are having these kind of sums in our first exercise, so we will be solving them. And below that they have given us to verify. So this is a homework. They have given us to verify. They have given some sets of triplets. 3, 4, 5. This is one set. So we have to check whether 3, 4, 5 is a triplet. 5, 12, 13, whether this is a Pythagorean triplet. 8, 15, 17, whether it is a triplet. 24, 25 and 7, whether it is a triplet. So this is a homework on page number 30. Okay. They have given us this activity here which you will be solving. After this, on the next page, again something which we have already done in last year and it's a revision for you all. Properties of right angle triangle. That is 30 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree theorem and 45 degree and 90 degree theorem, or basically these triangles. So a triangle which has three angles and the angles are 30 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree, then which particular property we can use. Okay, so the statement is also given. So the statement says, in acute angles of a right angle triangle, if the measure of the angle is 30 degree and 60 degree, and naturally if it is a right angle triangle, the third angle is 90 degree, then the side opposite to 30 degree is half the hypotenuse and side opposite to 60 degree is root 3 upon 2 times the hypotenuse. Okay, so they have given here further, they have solved. So this is a triangle LMN where measure angle M is 90 degree, measure angle L is 30 degree and measure angle N is 60 degree. So here we can use the 30 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree property or theorem. And what does it say? The side opposite to 30. So which is a side opposite to 30? MN is half the hypotenuse. Always first locate the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is always opposite 90 degree. So opposite 90 degree is LN. So side opposite to 30 is MN. MN is half the hypotenuse. So MN is half LN. Okay. And then we get this kind of sums to solve. So if the value of LN is known, we put the value of LN and we find the side MN. The second property says the side opposite to 60 is root 3 upon 2 the hypotenuse. Which is the side opposite to 60? LM. So LM is root 3 upon 2 the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is LN. Again, if we know the one of the side, that is if you know hypotenuse, we can find the side opposite to 60 degree here. Okay, so these kind of sums where you have studied these properties in 9th standard, you can get to solve these kind of sums. Then 45, 45, 90. What does 45, 45, 90 degree triangle property says? That in acute angle, right angle triangle are 45 degree and 45 degree. So if we have a triangle, right angle triangle, where the other two angles are 45 degree and 45 degree, then each of the perpendicular side is 1 upon root 2 times the hypotenuse. So what does the theorem says? That the side opposite to 45 degree. Now there are two 45 degrees. So which are the sides opposite to 45 degree? That is XZ, and side opposite to 45 is also XY. And what is the hypotenuse here? YZ is the, or ZY is the hypotenuse. So side opposite to 45. So there are two sides. So you can write XZ is side opposite to 45 as well as XY is opposite to 45. They both are equal to 1 upon root 2 the hypotenuse. And what is the hypotenuse? Zy, which is mentioned here. Okay, can you see here? So this is a property. And if we know the hypotenuse, we can find the other two sides. Correct? So they have given here hypotenuse as 3 root 2. So we put 3 root 2 and we do whatever particular calculation is there, and then we can find the other side. I hope this is clear. How do you use 30 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree theorem, and 45 degree and 90 degree theorem? After this, on page number 33, before studying Pythagoras theorem, okay, we will first study some properties, and the first property what we are going to study here is similarity and right angle triangle. Now similarity, we have done the first chapter on similarity. So it is related to similarity, what we have studied there, and right angle triangle. So what is the statement? The statement says that in a right angle triangle, if the altitude is drawn to the hypotenuse, then the two triangles formed are similar to the original triangle and to each other. This is again another important property which you have to study, and we need this property to use in our sums when we are solving sums. Now, the statement itself says that there is a right angle triangle. So here they have taken this right angle triangle ABC. Okay, an altitude is drawn to the hypotenuse. In this right angle triangle ABC, altitude means perpendicular. Okay, so a perpendicular is drawn on the hypotenuse. So what is the hypotenuse here? AC is the hypotenuse. Okay, and BD is the altitude, is the perpendicular which is drawn on the hypotenuse. Then the other two triangles which are formed. Naturally, there was only one triangle first. Okay, when there was first one triangle, that is triangle ABC. Now after drawing this perpendicular on the hypotenuse, we have got another two triangles. So they are saying that these two triangles which are formed are similar to the original. What is original? ABC. So basically here what we have to prove? We have to prove that ADB similar to ABC. So ADB, this smaller triangle, similar to this bigger triangle. Then this smaller triangle BDC similar to this big triangle. Okay, and these two small triangles are similar to each other. Very important property again. So we move further. Given is triangle ABC where angle B is 90 degree, BD perpendicular to AC, and A dash D dash C. Just to prove that, just to tell that A, D, C lie on the same line. And what we have to prove just now, I explained you all that all these three triangles, this big triangle and these two smaller triangles, are similar to each other. Now we start with the proof. Now, as the name of the theorem itself is similarity and right angle triangle, so we have to prove the triangles are similar. Now, first triangle we take is triangle ADB. Again, when you are going to write the names of the triangle, see that we write it according to 1-to-1 correspondence. Now, triangle ADB and this big triangle ABC. I am writing A, there is A is common, correct, no? This big triangle ABC and this small triangle ADB, A is common. So A and A I have written first. Then D, D is 90 degree angle. So when we are writing the name of the second triangle, again the D which is 90 degree, here also 90 degree should come in the center. So the bigger triangle B is 90 degrees. And then the third letter. So practice writing the names of the triangles. When you are writing the names of any two triangles, try to write their names according to 1-to-1 correspondence. How we will prove these two triangles are similar? Very easy. There is one vertex which is common, A. So angle DAB and angle BAC, common angle. DAB and BAC, common angle. And there is 90 degree. So angle ADB is congruent to angle ABC. Each is 90 degree. Therefore, the two triangles are similar by AA test of similarity. Okay. Please write it. Keep a habit of writing AA test of similarity. Now we go to the other two triangles. Which are the other two triangles? BDC. Now when we have to name the bigger triangle, BDC and ABC, because C is common now. Therefore C is written third. So C is also written third because BDC and ABC. Now when we write BDC, center D is written in the middle, the 90 degree angle. So when you are writing the name of the other triangle, the 90 degree should come in the center. So B is 90, yes. So the name is BDC and ABC. Again here C is common. So angle BCD congruent to angle ACB, common angle. Then 90 degree, which is 90 degree, angle BDC is congruent to angle ABC, each is 90 degree. Therefore the two triangles are similar by AA test of similarity. Now we have proved these two pair of triangles are similar by AA test. Which two triangles? The big triangle ABC is similar to ADB. And this big triangle ABC is similar to BDC. Okay. So from this 1 and 2, we can write if ABC is similar to ADB, and if ABC is similar to BDC, same angle is similar to two different triangles, ABC and ABC. Here we have given ABC similar to ADB, and here we have given ABC similar to BDC. So naturally ADB and BDC are similar. So from 1 and 2, we can write ADB is similar to BDC. Okay. Now, this is the third statement. Now from 1, 2 and 3. Okay. I will explain you in the figure what does the first, second and third statement says. First statement says that ADB is similar to ABC, bigger triangle. Second statement says BDC is similar to bigger triangle. And the third statement says this small triangle ADB is similar to BDC. Therefore, from 1, 2 and 3 by transitivity, we can say that all the three triangles are similar. Okay, by the property of transitivity which we have studied in the first lesson. First is similar to second, second similar to third. So, first similar to the third. That means all three are similar. This is a very important property where we will have to use this many times in the sums. And here in this particular theorem, it is very important to write the names of the triangles according to their one-to-one correspondence, because if you miss out on this one-to-one correspondence, the names, if you write it the other way, you might get the answer wrong. After this, the second property what we are going to study is theorem of geometric mean. Mean, this word, we have heard this earlier, mean is average basically. Okay, so we'll study how we are going to study this in the theorem. The statement says, in a right angle triangle, the perpendicular segment to the hypotenuse from the opposite vertex is the geometric mean of the segments into which the hypotenuse is divided. So first we will understand the meaning of this statement. The statement right in the beginning, in a right angle triangle. So we need a right angle triangle. Here the right angle triangle is PQR. The perpendicular segment to the hypotenuse. Now I mentioned if we have a right angle triangle, the longest side or the side opposite to 90 degree is the hypotenuse. So here 90 degree is angle Q. So side opposite to 90 degree is PR. So PR is the hypotenuse here. So they have given in the statement the perpendicular segment to the hypotenuse. So can you see here QS is a perpendicular drawn on the hypotenuse from the opposite vertex. So hypotenuse, which is the opposite vertex, Q, is the geometric mean. So they are talking about QS. Okay, they are talking about QS. So QS is the geometric mean of the segments into which the hypotenuse is divided. Can you see? Because of this QS perpendicular, the hypotenuse is divided into two parts. First part is PS, other part is RS. So what is the theorem? Basically here we will write, I'll write and show before they have proved that they want that QS square is equal to the product of the parts what are being formed. So PS and SR. So we have to prove that QS square is equal to PS into SR. This is asked to prove. Okay. Now, we start the proof here. In this given right angle triangle, QS is perpendicular to hypotenuse PR. Okay, if QS is perpendicular to the hypotenuse PR, we can use similarity of right angle triangle. Just before this, what we studied, the theorem. The name of the theorem, instead of writing the full statement, you can also write similarity of right angled triangle. So whenever we are using this property, we can write the name of this property as similarity of right angle triangle. As you can see in just this theorem of geometric mean, we required this. But again, there is one condition. If we have to use similarity of right angle triangle, we need a right angle triangle and a perpendicular has to be drawn on the hypotenuse. This is the condition, it has to be there. Then only we can use similarity of right angle triangle. So according to similarity of right angle triangle, they are saying that triangle QSR is similar to triangle PSQ. Okay, we have studied in this theorem that because of this there are three triangles which are formed and they are similar to each other. So we can write these two triangles are similar to each other. But how are we going to write the names? You cannot write it anyhow. You cannot write RSQ is similar to PSQ. It is not according to one-to-one correspondence. As I told you, you will get the further answer wrong. So how we are going to name it? Maybe here what they have given, I will use the same names. QSR is not similar to QSP. Do not write QSR similar to QSP. They are not according to one-to-one correspondence. So QSR is similar to PSQ. Okay, after writing that, directly you can give the statement here. Reason, similarity of right angle triangles. After that, since the triangles are similar, we can write the sides are in proportion, CSST. And what they have taken here, QS upon PS is equal to SR upon SQ. Okay. Now, reason, corresponding sides of similar triangle. They have not given here, we can add it. Now, QS upon SP is equal to SR upon QS. SQ is just written as QS. SQ and QS is one and the same. So they have just changed SQ to QS. Why? Because QS into QS, we want QS square. So when we cross multiply, we get QS into QS as QS square is equal to PS into SR. That proves that QS is the geometric mean of segment PS and SR. Again, This is also one important property which we need to know so that we can use it while solving the sums. Okay. And the third and the last, that is Pythagoras theorem. In the first exercise, first practice set, we need is Pythagoras theorem. Now, as I told you, we all have studied Pythagoras theorem in our earlier standards. But how do we prove the Pythagoras theorem by given conditions? So, the statement is, in a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the square of the remaining two sides. Okay, so since it is Pythagoras theorem, again, as I said, that very important, there should be a right angle triangle, and this is a triangle which we had used for theorem of similarity of right angle triangles, and also the same triangle was there for geometric mean also. So a given right angle triangle ABC, where measure angle B is 90 degree and an altitude or a perpendicular is drawn on the hypotenuse. BD is perpendicular to AC. We can see it in the figure. So given, we have written, what is asked to prove? AC square, hypotenuse square. So AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. Now this is a construction, that is, they have not given BD is perpendicular to AC, but this is being taken so that it makes us to reach to what is asked being proved. So construction, this is an extra thing. Usually construction we also show with dotted lines. So you can show this with dotted lines also, BD. So BD is perpendicular to AC is a construction which we have taken. Now we start the proof. In this proof, in this triangle ABC, since BD is perpendicular to AC, we can use the theorem of similarity of right angle triangles. And what is the similarity of right angle triangles? That the three triangles which are formed by drawing this perpendicular on the hypotenuse, that is ABC, then ADB and BDC. All these three triangles, the main first original and these two which are formed, are similar to each other. So this first statement is written, triangle ABC similar to triangle ADB similar to triangle BDC. You can straight away write the reason, the name of the theorem. Now, from this they have taken first two triangles. Which two triangles? The bigger triangle ABC and ADB. When we take triangle ABC and ADB, they are similar. We can write the sides are in proportion. So which two sides which we need, we will take. So first, since they are written according to one-to-one correspondence, we can take directly from here AB upon AD, BC upon DB and AC upon AB, corresponding sides of similar triangles. From this we will take the first and the last, because we want square, correct? And only if we take the first and the last ratio, AB into AB becomes AB square. So you have to decide which two ratios we are going to take. So AB into AB is AB square is equal to AC into AD. This becomes our first statement. Now we take another two triangles, that is this big triangle ABC and this small triangle BDC. Again they are similar. Therefore sides are in proportion. So AB upon BD is equal to BC upon DC is equal to AC upon BD. Again, which two ratios? Look at the ratios and decide. Yes, the second and the third. Why second and the third? Because BC into BC we will get BC square. So we take the second and the third ratio, we multiply, cross multiply, we get BC square is equal to DC into AC. We got two statements. Now both the statements, first and the second, we are going to add. Add the left hand side and add the right hand side. So AB in plus BC square. AB square plus BC square. AB square is in the left hand side and BC square is also left hand side. So we add the left hand sides and we add the right hand side. So this and this was in the right hand side. So we are adding. AB square plus BC square remains the same. From this, AD into AC and DC into AC. AC is common. So we take this AC out, and what goes inside the bracket is AD plus DC. This kind of thing you have done in the earlier standards also, where we take a common out and then whatever remains goes in the bracket. So from this particular AD into AC and DC into AC, AC is common, which we take outside the bracket, and what remains goes inside the bracket. Now what remains? AD plus DC. If you look at the figure, AD plus DC. What is AD plus DC? AC. And why we can write AC? Because we have taken that A dash D dash C. That is, they all are in one straight line. Okay. So AD plus DC is equal to AC. We will mention it here. This AD plus DC, we can write it as AC. Reason is A dash D dash C. Now here we got AC into AC. AC into AC is AC square. Okay, and this was there in left hand side as it is. So what we got final? That AB square plus BC square equal to AC square. We have just shifted AC here and this whole thing the other side. So AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. Okay, that is asked to prove. That is AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. This theorem is there on page number 34 of your textbook. I hope this is clear. So the theorem says that if there is a right angle triangle, then the hypotenuse square is equal to one side square plus other side square. Now after this, we are going to study the converse. Converse of Pythagoras theorem. I have told you earlier also in the first lesson. Converse means the other way. Now in the Pythagoras theorem, they had given that the angle is 90 degree or the triangle is a right angle triangle, and we had to prove this. Hypotenuse square is equal to one side plus other side square. Now in converse, they will give that hypotenuse square, they will give that the greater side square is equal to one side square plus other side square, and then we have to prove that the triangle is right angle triangle. Okay, so in converse, we have to prove that it is a right angle triangle. And in the original Pythagoras theorem, they have given us that the triangle is a right angle triangle. So understand the difference. So the statement says, in a triangle, if the square of one side is equal to the sum of the square of the remaining two sides, then the triangle is a right angle triangle. Okay, so this theorem here given is in triangle ABC, they have given here. ABC is the triangle which has been given, and here in this triangle they have given AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. We have to prove that this angle is 90 degrees. So we can prove that it is a right angle triangle. Okay, so given AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. So now to prove this, we have to do some construction, and the construction is we have to take another triangle which is a right angle triangle, and angle Q here is taken 90 degree. So this is a construction, this is not given. This is a construction triangle which we have taken. Now the theorem says that we have to do this construction of taking a triangle which is a right angle triangle, okay, such that AB is equal to PQ and BC is equal to QR. So the construction is such that AB is equal to PQ and BC is equal to QR. These two sides are equal. Okay. Now, if this is a right angle triangle which we have taken, we can use Pythagoras here. Correct? We cannot use Pythagoras in triangle ABC because it is not a right angle triangle. But yes, we can use Pythagoras in PQR because it is a right angle triangle. So, we start the theorem saying that triangle PQR is a right angle triangle since angle Q is 90 degree. Therefore, by Pythagoras theorem, PR square is equal to PQ square plus QR square. Okay. Now, after using Pythagoras theorem, here I will try to draw this figures here because it is on the other page. So, you don't get confused. ABC, I'm just drawing the figures here. Okay. And this is a right angle triangle we have taken. This is our original triangle and this is a construction one. So, since this we have taken as a right angle triangle, we can use Pythagoras here. So, PR square is equal to PQ square plus QR square. Now, since in the construction we have also taken that PQ is equal to AB and QR is equal to BC. So, instead of PQ I can write AB square. And instead of QR, I can write BC square. Okay. Now, what statement we have got? We have got that PR square is nothing but AB square plus BC square. Now, AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square, which is given. It is given already. It is given that AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. So, here, instead of AB square plus BC square, we will write AC square. It is given. Okay. Now what we got? PR square is equal to AC square. We got this. That means PR is equal to AC. Taking square root from both the sides, we can write PR is equal to AC. So we got PR is equal to AC. Okay. Now if PR is equal to AC, just now what we got, we can prove these two triangles are congruent by SSS test. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR by SSS test. And we have studied in the 9th standard, when we prove two triangles are congruent, then their angles are also congruent. Do you remember? Yes. So if the triangles are congruent, we can write angles are also congruent. In PQR is equal to ABC. But PQR we have taken 90 degree. So ABC is also 90 degree is proved. That is asked to prove. That prove this is a right angle. So we proved it. Okay. So this theorem is on page number 34 and 35. So see that. You learn all these properties and theorems what we studied just now. You write it in your notebook. Okay. And just on page number 35 they have given remember this. In this remember this also, all these 4 properties which are given, which are mentioned are also important. So study this, remember this, very important. They have given you a similarity of right angle triangle, that property, then geometric mean, Pythagoras theorem, converse of Pythagoras theorem, and the property of 30 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree and 45, 90 degree also. Okay. So the converse here, Pythagoras and all these. See that you go through this properly. Okay. Along with this we also studied, I'll just mention here, 30 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. Okay. Triangle and 45 degree and 90 degree triangle. Please study that also. Homework. Learn Pythagorean triplet, similarity on right angle triangle, theorem of geometric mean, Pythagoras theorem, and also the converse of Pythagoras theorem. Bye and take care.